All right, and joining me today is Caio Borralho, who fights Jared Cannonier as the main event of UFC Vegas 96. That fight August 24th. So, Kyle, before we start talking about the main event, we start talking about the big fight. Let's talk about the last fight. Let's talk about the Paul Craig knockout because you were on the show with me here. You called your shot. You said you wanted the KO. So tell me about how it felt after getting that big knockout.
Bro, it felt like I was dreaming the entire time, and then I woke up and the dream just happened. It was like that. Like I spent the whole camp calling that I was going to knock him out and doing this. So I was very happy with my performance. I trained a lot to knock him out, and I did it. So felt good. So I felt happy. Money on my pocket, in my family's pocket. So I was very happy.
Yeah, and we were obviously very happy with the result as well. Now, before we get to talking about the fight too, I did want to talk a little bit more fighting nerd stuff because obviously not just your big win we're coming off of. We're coming off of Bruna's huge win over in Manchester. We saw you in the corner for that. Not just a win in enemy territory, which you know a thing or two about, and doing it in really emphatic fashion. So tell me a little bit about, that fight week and the feelings surrounding that big win.
Yeah, that was crazy fight week actually, brother. Because like we had to train like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. Because the fight was supposed to be 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. So we went to training like that. So our sleep was like all messed up. Our time zone was all messed up. So it was kind of hard that week. But Bruna did it very good. Bruna is a phenomenal athlete. She puts everything of herself into the sport, into her dream. So I think he did very well. She did everything that we trained in the training camp, the knees, the calf kicks and all the stuff, the back take. And I think all the credit goes for her. She's a tremendous athlete. She put everything on this training camp, she put everything, brother. So everything just came along as the training, and you saw amazing performance for her.
Of course. And then one just last question about the fighting nerds. Obviously, we got Hikaru Brito coming to Dana White's Contender Series a little bit later on in the season. Give us a little bit of a preview of what we can expect from him for people who maybe don't know Hikaru too well.
Oh, brother, from Hikaru Brito, you guys cannot blink. This is the real nerd. His nickname is the nerd. He like one of the most disciplined guys into the sport. Even though he's not like a UFC athlete or something like that, but he lives already as an athlete, as a phenomenal athlete. He lives as a UFC athlete. He's a true role model to all of the athletes from our team, including me. I take a lot of inspiration from how he take his life, his athlete life, and everything. So I think, and when he comes to fight, he's unpredictable. He's a striking master. He's a knockout artist. And I think any fighter that gives they're going to fight him is going to be a first round KO. Because he touches the guys and the guys goes down. So I think this is what's going to happen in the Contender Series too.
Well, we're obviously looking forward to that. Now we first get to look forward to your main event. Now, it kind of came together quick. It wasn't one that got advertised for a really long time. It's one that we just found out about, like a week ago as fans. How long have you known about this main event?
Oh, the main event was set up 3 days before my flight to Bruna's fight. So I think it's like 10 days before Bruna's fight. So it was like 5 weeks notice. But I was already training. I was training for like 3 or 4 weeks already, doing sparring. I was back training. I was doing good strength conditioning before that, and 5 weeks notice. It's good for 5 round fight. I think I'm on a phenomenal shape. I've been training all the time. I don't stop training at all. I was doing the recovery of my ankle. Now I feel a little bit more secure about my ankle and everything. So I can fight with no worries. So I think it's a good time.
And so now we only found out about it probably 3 weeks prior to fight time rather than 5. So there was like a 2-week gap there where the public didn't seem to know. Did you know it was 5 rounds? Were you 100% sure it was Cannonier that whole time?
Yeah. The only thing that I had a problem with my visa, so the UFC was taking care about that, so they asked me to don't put it out until I get my visa all done, so as soon as they did it, 2 days after they announced it.
Awesome. So, and now you've been in lots of co-main events. Your first couple of fights in the UFC were co-main events. This is the
Yeah.
first time, your name is the first name on the poster instead of the second or the third name on the poster. So tell me, what does it feel like, seeing that, those advertisements go out? I just saw an Instagram reel, that just when I was flipping through of them advertising, Caio Borralho came from Contender Series and now he's a main event. So like, what's
Yeah.
it like seeing all of that stuff around at this point?
Like I feel like I always deserve that spot. You know what I mean. Like I'm the guy that talk good in front of cameras. I can self fight good. I know how to talk. I'm a Brazilian, but I speak good English. So I think I'm the guy from main events. Like I think my style is better in 5 rounds too. And I always carry all the events that I was in. Only the pay-per-view cards that was like more like in the preliminary card on the Abu Dhabi card, but all the other cards I was like, even in São Paulo it was a fight night and everybody was screaming my name. I was the only athlete the crowd screamed their name. In Rio, I wasn't like co-main event or anything like that, but everybody was there to see my fight because I said I was gonna KO him and I did it. And all the other fights I was the co-main event. I think 2 or 3 events here in the Apex. I was the athlete on the card with with the most interviews to do. So I think I deserve that spot. I think I built that spot. And I think right now I'm just like uh, deserve to be there. That's how I feel. Like I deserve this. I deserve this main event. I deserve this tough fight to test myself against it, and I think I will do good.
We've been talking about this all the way back from when you used to fight, when you fought Aaron Jeffrey on Contender Series, right? Is you've been talking about making yourself marketable and how that's really important to you. And now, obviously, you're getting what you deserve now, but it has happened in a pretty quick period of time in the grand scheme of things to go from, Contender Series and Brazilian regional fights to all of a sudden, you're on the poster, you're the guy, and all that you sort of manifested is coming true. Has it like set in yet that you're like that big of a deal now? Did the crowds in Brazil help that? Like, how does that feel internally?
Oh man, just like it's like I already knew that was going to happen. But it's crazy how fast it was. Like, but I kept working a lot, man. Inside the octagon and outside the octagon. My first year in the UFC, I did 3 fights. I did like 6 fights in less than 2 years. And I'm working, man. Like I feel that I deserve that. Even though like I'm very happy with the role model that I'm turning myself in, to the Brazilian athletes and all the guys. I receive a lot of messages of young athletes trying to be like me, like saying that I'm their inspiration and all that. And like I'm happy with that. But I think I deserve this spot, because I've been working my ass off all the time. If I'm not like training or fighting, I'm recording videos for my YouTube. I'm doing analysis. I'm a commentator in LFAs, the UFC Fight Pass, and I'm always involved with MMA. So I'm working my ass off to appear to everybody gets to know my name and everything. So people don't forget me. So I like, I feel that like I deserve that spot. I'm very happy with it, but I feel like I deserve it. It's not anything that's not given to me in the UFC in my career, in my past inside the UFC with the fights that I got. Anything was given to me. I earned that, with work, hard work, intelligence. That's how I feel.
I love it. Now let's talk about the stylistic aspect of this Jared Cannonier fight too, because again, you only got 5 weeks to sort of prepare for him. Even if you're in camp, that means 5 weeks to look at game planning and to look at him. I know he's somebody you had circled, but is 5 weeks about what you would look for in terms of how much time you need to game plan? Do you wish it was kind of a little longer in terms of sort of preparing specifically for him?
Yeah, no, no, no. It's good. I think this is the right amount of time, the right time that I needed. I got 5 weeks. He got 5 weeks. Either. So, I only need like 1 or 2 days to study the guy and see his patterns, see his movements, and what he does the most. His normal reactions to every like aspect in the game. So it's everything very set up already. Like me and my team, we are known for that. I am known for that. I'm very good in strategy and follow the game plan. So like everything is set it up. Like I know every move that he's gonna do. I know when he changes stances, what he do. I know that he likes to kick the legs and all this stuff. I know all this. So I'm prepared to everything side octagon. I'm prepared to leave that everything into follow my strategy, follow my game plan. And it's almost like I have a guide and I just need to follow all the steps to get a huge win.
I love it. Now I'm going to ask you for another prediction again, so I'm going to prepare you for that. But before I do, I want to ask you about the state of the middleweight division, because obviously we're recording this, right a week before the middleweight title is being defended, Israel Adesanya versus Dricus du Plessis. But there's not a lot of challengers sort of waiting in the wings. Sean Strickland's talking about possibly waiting to get one. You got Robert Whitaker. He's already booked with Khamzat Chimaev, which is a fight that's fallen apart a couple of times. Where do you feel like a win would put you in the mix of that? Are we one away? Are we two away? Do we feel like an emphatic win could put us in that mix? Where exactly do you feel like this win could put you?
Yeah, exactly as you said. Like I think if it just win by decision, like it's not a bad win, it's a very good win against a very tough guy. And I think just a win, I think it's gonna put me in the mix. Like it can be me anytime, to be a next contender, to go to the title shot. But if I knock him out, or if I finish him, with good fashion, then I think he put me as the right next contender. I know like maybe Strickler is the next one because he's waiting and all this stuff. He got a fight with the guy with Paulo Costa, he's number 8 or something like that. He won the fight, even though he didn't finish, but he won the fight. And like he already fought Dricus. So if Dricus win from Adesanya, I think it's a good matchup with good history to do a rematch, and something like that. He went straight to to I think Australia wasn't it? Australia to
Yeah.
fight Dricus and all this stuff. So I think he deserved the spot. But after a good finish on Saturday, I think he put me right into the mix. I think he put me as the next contender. And the mantra when I fought Paul Craig was I was gonna KO Paul Craig, and I did it. And the mantra to this fight is I'm gonna show the new champion arrived. That's my main goal in this fight. I'm. It doesn't matter if I'm gonna knock him out, if I'm gonna finish him, but I will show my skills. People gonna realize how good I am, and I'm gonna show the UFC to the crowd, to myself, to everybody. The new champion arrived in the division, and everybody must take note of that. That's my mantra right now.
I love that. So I'm going to take it then. I'm not getting a prediction then. I'm just getting the new champions arrive.
Yes, that's the prediction, but I predict a first round KO. That's what I predict. I don't like I'm not taking away the credit from Jared. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a phenomenal athlete, very experienced guy. I think he won from a lot of good guys. He has power in his hands. But I think he has some holes even in the beginning of the fight, and now he's with 40 years old. So like I feel that I can knock him out in the first minute. I think I can knock him out in the first round, but let's see. Let's see how it goes.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. This is then Caio Borralho, who fights Jared Cannonier as the headliner, UFC Vegas 96. Once again, that fight, August 24th. Caio, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Very glad to be here since day one. Yeah.
That's it. Since day one, my man.